If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would just listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
All County Healthcare, Inc. is locally owned and operated, serving the Tri-County area, Palm Beach, Dade, and Broward counties for the last 25 years. The practice of medicine is changing dramatically. All County Healthcare, Inc. still does it the old-fashioned way, where our nurses and healthcare professionals come into your home to service your medical needs, providing you the fastest and best care possible. For more information, call 954-717-7027. And remember, Medicare Home Care is covered by Part A of Medicare with no out-of-pocket cost to you. It's your decision, and only your decision, on what healthcare agency you use. Call today. All County Home Health Care, Inc. at 954-717-7027. License 200999096. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Amp2.tv presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Hello, South Florida and beyond, and welcome to the You and Your Doctor Living a Longer and Healthier Life show. We're going to get right into it. We're here with Doug Burbella, MD. So without further ado, Dr. Burbella, I want to let you tell a little bit of the story. But first, please tell the viewers and listeners about what you do, your medical specialty or missionary medical doctor, if I got that right.
Yes. So I'm a medical doctor. I prefer natural medicine. Before I went through the MD program, I went through an Oriental medicine program. So I like to incorporate both in practice. So, and as far as the medical missions, I like to go to countries around the world. I prefer a little more dangerous, a little more out of your comfort zone places. I don't like to stay in a hotel. I like to go on trips where you're staying in a tent or you're sleeping on the ground, etc.
Definitely. You like to have a little bit of action, as we say.
Exactly.
With your health there, with your health care.
Yeah.
But a couple things there. So you first were, do I say it right, Doctor of Oriental Medicine? Is that Chinese medicine?
Sure. Yes.
Perfect. And then naturopathic?
Yeah, well, in Florida, you're not allowed to practice as a naturopathic doctor. That's not one of the licensures offered. So that was my first choice. Mm-hmm. But since we weren't allowed to practice as that, the Oriental medicine was the next choice, because that is allowed in Florida. So that's the path I took.
But then you went back and you became an MD.
I did.
You went through everything an MD doctor goes through.
I did. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So we're lucky to have you tonight. But I wanted to have you on the show. First of all, I'm so glad you're here with us. So I'm flipping channels. I know it's like near 11 o'clock. This is on sometime around April 4th of this year. And yeah. I see, shout out to CBS 12 News. I think that's the first place I check all the news. You know, I'm big on Channel 5 News as well, WPEC. And also Channel 25 News. I think you were featured on all of them. But yeah. I happened to find you on CBS 12 News right there. and it was this amazing story about a doctor who was providing medical care in Haiti, and or on the way to, something that I know you have done before in the past, and that you were ambushed and shot 3 times. And I'll let you tell a little bit of the story.
Yeah, so on April 4th, I went to Haiti, and this is the first time my wife said to me, "Just come back." She doesn't usually say that. She's never said that before. That was her parting words. And I went with a team. There was 6 of us. We flew into Port-au-Prince, and then we drove north from Port-au-Prince for 4 hours. Came to a town called St. Mark, and we stopped and got some Haitian phone, I believe, so we could make phone calls there. And got in the 2 vehicles and headed up the road, and we didn't get far down the road, and things started to get very strange. So,
yeah, like Harry, right? Like something wasn't right.
Something wasn't right. There was a guy standing on either side of the road, of the highway, and they each had a couple tires and a couple of bottles of what I assumed to be gasoline or kerosene. And as soon as we passed those guys, they were watching us, and they got on their cell phones. I said, this looks strange. Might be some kind of a roadblock coming up. And then we got up past a village on our left, and there was no people there. Usually there's kids running out to the street wanting us to throw candy to them. There was no people. It was a ghost town.
Huh.
I thought, this is strange.
Yeah.
And then we saw 2 men in their front yard, and they kind of waved with their hands towards the ground, just really quickly, briefly. And I thought, what are they trying to warn us? Are they trying to tell us to slow down?
Well, they were giving you a hint or a warning.
Yeah, they were giving us a warning, but they didn't want to get caught giving us this warning. And then we came around a corner, and here's a roadblock. And as soon as we got around the corner, they lit the tires on fire, and these roadblocks are made of tires. And the vehicle in front of us stopped. I was in the second vehicle. I was behind the driver. And when the first vehicle stopped, gang members, for lack of a better word, started jumping on the roof of the car and pounding on the windows and started to drag people out of the vehicle. And so we did what anybody would do, hit full reverse, and started down the highway in reverse. Well, that took the pressure off of our folks in the first vehicle. But these guys that were already shooting off their guns were now shooting the guns at us.
Oh, no, yeah, right at you.
So we could hear the bullets hitting the truck. And so then this was a strange area. Our trucks are 4-wheel drive. We can normally just go off into the bush and get away from this. But this is a flood zone, and the highway was built up with big ditches on the side. Mm-hmm. We had no escape. So anyway, we went in reverse until we found a driveway. We're going to do a quick turnaround, and one of the bullets hit the rear tire.
Oh, no.
Our pickup truck was filled with computers for the school. Mm-hmm. And so the weight of those computers took the truck right down onto the tire. And when we got turned around, we could only go 5 miles an hour.
Oh, God. So you were like just a sitting target there.
So we're hobbling along at 5 miles an hour. I could see the guys on foot catching up with us. And then out of the side view mirror, I could see a motorcycle coming up and 2 guys with machine guns on the motorcycle. So I thought, any second they're going to be up on us. So I said to the guys, I said, when I yell duck, we're all going to duck. You know, next thing you know, I'm looking down at my body, which is quivering. And I never got to say duck.
When you were hit, and then you were looking out of body experience.
Yeah.
So you're over your body. I've read this a few times in the accounts that you gave to media.
Yeah.
So you were actually, you think at that time you had passed, and that was...
It was a kill shot. I'm a big game hunter, and I know if I hit a spine shot on a big game animal in the neck, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, so these 3 bullets that hit you, tell everyone where they hit you.
So I got hit in the left shoulder, and then I got one in the neck, which shattered my C3 vertebra, and then one in the jaw, which fractured my jaw.
Okay, so that's in a very tight area, though, the shoulder, neck, and jaw.
You can see.
Oh, yeah.
too scar on
Definitely.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're lucky that didn't hit your head. I mean, and brain. And I saw a picture of one of the bullets. I think it's the Sun Sentinel article. Shout out to them because they did some great reporting as well.
Yeah.
And it was like, it looked like, do you remember as a kid? I mean, we used to do it down here. We used to take pennies and put them on the train tracks and wait for the train to go by.
Yep.
And then they would completely be flattened. But this had the hole in the middle. But that bullet was flattened up against, I guess, your bone or your vertebrae, even your cheekbone, one of them.
It was against the cheekbone. Yeah.
And you said early on that you think that this was an AK-47?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the size round it was.
Unbelievable that you're here today. So you had been to Haiti before, I think.
Many times.
After the earthquake, right?
Yep. I went after the earthquake.
We all use that as a, time in history because that was just
terrible.
A devastating earthquake.
Over 200,000 people.
Wow.
Died in that.
And then also you've been over in Iraq with the and I'm gonna get this wrong, but the Peshmerga.
Yes.
Thank you. Soldiers as they fought ISIS. I mean,
Fighting
you've been in
ISIS,
some places where this would be more expected, but like when things happen, sometimes was this kind of unexpected.
I really thought I would get shot in Iraq. If I was going to get shot anywhere, that would be the place.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Haiti. I've been going to Haiti for 30 years. Never would I have thought. In fact, roadblocks, not that uncommon. Maybe every third trip or so there might be a roadblock. And we stop and we might have to give up a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Or a bottle of vitamins for somebody's sick kid. That's all they want. They don't want much.
And the way you described, I knew you had been through roadblocks before because you went into so much detail about the roadblock. No, it helps with this to understand the stories for viewers and listeners. We're here with Doug Burbella, MD, and I definitely you work with Living Water Ministries of the Palm Beaches.
Yes.
It's livingwaterhaiti.org, ton of info there as well. And if you have any questions for Dr. Burbella, he dropped his email address here. It's drburbella@live.com. That's drburbella@live.com. If you have questions after the program, a little bit more about who he works with and what he does, or just give him some praise and just keep on getting better, because I know you're still rehabbing a little bit, or still on the road to recovery.
I'm eating solid food now. This is the greatest thing.
I'm so happy to hear that because when I saw you on video, even in the hospital, you looked like you went through quite an ordeal, and I was a little. The way you had gotten, I think I gave you a few days, but then I emailed you and you got right back to me. I'm like, maybe I'm being the journalist and not thinking about the what people need, and I should back off. But then as I got to talk to you and learn a little bit about you, I knew you were in a good place on the way to recovery. So you have this out of body experience. You're hovering over your body, and at that point you're out. So what happens next? Do you hear everyone a commotion? Did they try to get you to the nearest doctor? I mean, what's the next part of the story?
Well, I was thinking I need to get the vehicle stopped, so I'm yelling at my driver, I've been shot, I'm dead. No one could hear me, so I knew, they can't hear me for a good reason, so the only one I can talk to is God. So I said, God, I'm not ready. I got a wife and a son that need me, and I said, I've been serving for 30 years, and I got a lot more miles left on these sneakers. I'll go to wherever you send me and share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I had no sooner finished that, and I'm back in my body. And so I yelled again, I've been shot. This time they heard me. And I turned right around, stopped the vehicle. And as soon as the vehicle stopped, I looked to my left, and there's 3 guns pointed at me. 3 guys were going to finish me off, and they were, how you squint one eye, you're going to shoot that gun. And so I said, I got to fake dead fast, and I did. I flopped over on my side and pretended I was dead. What I didn't know is one of them was feeding the gun in through the window and put the gun barrel up to my head and was going to shoot. And my driver says, and he was shook up bad, and a guy came up on a motorcycle and put his hand on my driver's chest and said, I'm not sure exactly what he said, "Be calm," I think. And my driver felt a peace come over him. And then he said something in Creole. So that was in perfect English. Then he said something in Creole to the shooter, and the shooter pulled the gun back out through the window, and then they opened the door and piled up on top of me and took my pockets inside out and got $11 out of my wallet and took my phone. That's all they got from me.
Wow. And then I guess they totally left the area, right?
Well, they wanted the vehicles. They wanted the cargo on the vehicles. And my team is saying, well, we need the good vehicle to take the doctor to the hospital. He's been shot. And
Yeah.
they really didn't care. But nice thing, some of the locals that weren't bad guys, they were arguing for us. Hey, this doctor comes to help us. Let him get to the hospital. Let them take their friend to the hospital. So that's what ended up happening. We went in the good vehicle. We all piled in to the good
But you're
vehicle.
in a very rural area. I mean, you were talking about it's
Very
hard to
rural.
turn around just because the way the roads were built due to floods. And
Yeah.
so then they hightail it with the other vehicle to
Yeah.
a hospital there in St. Mark, or they go
And
farther?
imagine, I'm saying I got a broken neck because I could feel it. I could feel
Oh.
the bullet had shattered my neck. I've broken 10 bones in the past, so I know the feeling of a broken bone, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm getting airborne every time we hit a bump because they're driving as fast as they can to get me to the hospital before I bleed out, and I was bleeding profusely.
So every little bump, every
Oh,
little
gosh.
in the road, and I haven't been there, but I imagine they don't have roads like we do here. I mean, it's not the same infrastructure. So, wow, that's an amazing story. So they get you to the hospital, you're given some care there, and somehow you start on a path to Delray Medical Center.
Yeah, so 30 hours it took me to get on that life flight, and that was Riva, an air ambulance. Riva, they're out of Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. Wonderful people. They were hired by Dan Diver, which is Diver Alert Network is what Dan stands for. I had the insurance because I was going to be diving on that trip. Because part of what I wanted to do on that trip was measure the width and depth of the lagoon we have at our campus in the northwest of Haiti. We got property right on the, when I say we, Living Water Ministries of the Palm Beaches.
The Palm Beaches. So you were gonna do some depth diving.
Depths and widths to make sure that our boat that we're taking over to Haiti would fit in through the lagoon. Otherwise, we'd have to anchor it offshore. That would be a disaster. So,
I gotta say that's maybe one of the greatest insurance policies I've ever heard about.
Yeah,
being turned in. I mean, that got you on this flight.
Got me on that
back
flight.
to Delray Medical Center, which we know is a level 1 trauma center.
One of only 9, I think, in the state of Florida.
Yeah, if you're hurt severely in Palm Beach County, you either go to St. Mary's Medical Center. If you're in the north, I imagine, and the south is Delray Medical Center. So you're air vac to them all the way here, and then I guess the real type of care starts. Not that they don't have great care over there, but the actual, did you have to go through some surgeries? Or
I did.
Over here?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, as soon as I got to St. Mark, which to me was an outside clinic, they wanted to operate there. Oh, we have a surgeon here in the village. We'll get him, and we'll get your bullets out. No, thank you. I'll let them do that when I get back to the States. So that was the same fight when I got to Port-au-Prince. I got to the hospital there. They wanted to operate immediately. You're not stable. You're not stable. I said, no, I am stable. You've stabilized me. Let me get back home, and we have more sophisticated equipment, and we can get those bullets out there. If they need to come out, quite often we leave the bullet in.
Well, we know one of them was out because it's in the article, but are there any left in?
I have lots of fragments, and 22 fragments just in my neck area. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So that one kind of shattered. Do you know which the bullet in the photo? Do you know where that's from? That photo?
That came from my jaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was the most preserved of the bullets then, that the least amount of fragments.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. And I guess, so you go through the surgery, and obviously, I imagine you go right to ICU because you got to start recovering.
Trauma ICU, yeah.
Trauma ICU. How long were you out for?
So I was in the hospital for 7 weeks. And then I had a second surgery a week or two after the first one. And they took a bullet out, the one that was pressed against my spine.
Yeah.
That came out through my esophagus. So they went in through my throat and pulled that bullet out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really was. That was Dr. Rendawa and Dr. Huss at Delray Medical.
I know the story, but I'm just writing them down because I definitely want to see if they want to come on someday in the future. Definitely. Wow, amazing. How was Delray Medical Center? Great care? I mean, that's a top-notch hospital.
I couldn't tell you enough good about it. It was fantastic from the moment I got there. As soon as I got through the door, I was assessed and on my way to the CT.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them I have a fractured neck, and no, you don't. Okay, well, you're gonna find out.
Yeah.
And sure enough.
Yeah, you've broken 10 bones and you're an MD, so you knew definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I still see you with the neck brace today. You can see, but how are you doing today? You seem to be. You were very excited that you're on solid food.
I am so blessed. I had the bullet. So the bullet came out through my esophagus, as I said, and that created what we call a fistula. So there's a passageway where that bullet came out, and the problem is that wasn't closing. It wasn't healing. Mm-hmm. So if I would eat food, it would go in there. So I was on a nasogastric tube for a long time, feeding through a tube. Finally, I got that out just before I got released from the hospital, and so I stayed on a soft diet as to not agitate any scab that might be in my throat.
Definitely.
So about a week ago, I started on a regular solid food diet, and I'll tell you what, that just felt great after all this time.
I bet, and you deserve it more than anyone. Definitely to go through that ordeal.
I was down to 118 pounds at one point. That's what I weighed when I was 14.
Unbelievable.
Today I weighed myself. I'm 136 pounds, so I'm
good.
in the right direction.
Nice. And you said 14, so you came to South Florida when you were 14 from Northern Ontario.
I did. What a culture shock that was. Climate change, the whole thing was just a real shocker, yeah.
But I can tell you love it down here.
I love it down here.
And Dr. Burbella is a resident of Fort Lauderdale. Hard to believe we only have a couple minutes left, but let me give out the info again. Living Water Ministries of the Palm Beaches. You can find their website, livingwaterhaiti.org, 561-827-3241. Dr. Burbella, if you want to get in touch with him, it's drburbella@live.com. That's drburbella@live.com. We got about a minute and a half left, so I got to ask you the big question. I mean, would you ever go back to Haiti to perform medical missionary work again?
I definitely would.
You definitely would.
I would love more than anything to go up to the same guys that shot me and say, look what God's done for me, and show them that I have no deficits.
Mm-hmm.
You shot me 3 times, and here I am to come back and tell you that God loves you, and really tell them what God's done in my life,
Definitely, because I know Living Water Ministries, you said, has a building there, and you were checking the...
Yeah, we have a large piece of property there. And we need people to get involved with that. And the one thing I'd like to see happen is we have a boat that's here that I've been working on for a couple of years. It's a 45-foot a pontoon boat. We need to get it shipped over there.
Shipped over to Haiti, the Northwest Haiti.
That's a $20,000 bill right there. So
yeah, if anyone can help out, listeners of this show, definitely we got to see what we can do to get that over there.
Maybe somebody's got a shipping company or whatever.
You never know. Networking is why we're here.
That's right.
So Dr. Burbella, we'll have to have you on again, but thank you so much for coming on the program and telling your story.
Thank you.
Again, it's Dr. Burbella at live.com and Living Water Ministries of the Palm Beaches. We'll see you next time on the You and Your Doctor Show.
Thank you for letting us share with you a longer and healthier lifestyle. If you have a doctor or are a doctor and wish to be on the show, call AMP2 TV at 866-244-5422, and we will put you on the air as soon as possible. Tune in next week for more information on living longer and having a healthier life.